friend. Shabbat shalom and greetings to you all. Well, I know the groundhog said it was going to be an early spring, but it doesn't quite feel like it. Let's hope he's correct. And let's all wish our dear friends Peter and Yofi and family a safe journey home. Now, a lot of people emailed about what they were taught about the plagues and what they've now read. Not quite the same, is it? The fact is that the Torah does not present the plagues as punishment of the Egyptians for enslaving the Israelites, which, of course, most were taught, but rather as signs by which the Lord will become known. That's not what people thought. Now, there's often a difference between what we really read and what we read with preconceived notions. And we'll see more of that this week. Now, we see the people start to form a group. They complain, but they start to unify and come together, just as we do. As we come together, a community of like-minded, like-souled fellows seeking unification of spirit. And remember, it's not a religious thing, my friends. It's a human thing. The collective consciousness of people who come together in a showing of faith, of love, a community, a chavura, a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Bethruch. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody physically, psychically, emotionally, or spiritually, to come gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. Shevetachi Yach. Hine Matov. Shevetachi Yach. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. Because we are a community, my friends, so let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the entire world. Remember, this is you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill. And we know that it is through our intention that we manifest all the events of our lives. So let's use that intention to send out goodwill to invoke healing and renewal for everyone. Floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people, my friends. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world. The tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. So let's send that energy out. For those in our hearts and our minds, for Cass and Doria, for Bob and Dan, for Johnny and Myra, for Tally, for the bee. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It circles the world finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit. And spirit, my friends, never dies. Makor HaBracha Limotenu, may the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage, make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say Amen. Misha Baruch, my friends, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, in which we call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Misha Baruch, may He who blessed. Let's all send down, receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Because all healing comes from blessings. Now this week we read beshalach, when He let go. The people leave, but not by way of the Philistines, the easy, normal route. Exodus 13:17. And it was when Pharaoh let the people go that God did not lead them by way of the Philistines' land, because it was close. Because God said, in case the people will be dissuaded when they see war, they'll go back to Egypt. Well, this is an all-knowing God, right? So He knows what they're going to see. He knows they're going to see some war. Fear was the genetic inheritance that each of the 12 sons got with his DNA. And God knew that fear. If they saw warring people, would send them scurrying back to Egypt. They've been slaves for generations. Decision-making, willpower, responsibility have not been part of their lives. You do not acquire responsibility instantly when you become free. Facing opponents, having to take arms and fight, would terrify these people. Their natural reaction would be to turn and flee. But the Red Sea situation coming up is different. The Egyptian army behind them and an open sea in front of them, they do not need to make a decision. They don't need to exert willpower or take responsibility. They have no choice but to go forward. That is how God will send them. Now, this is another one of those loaded parshas, and this week we have a lot going on. We encounter the pillars of cloud and fire, the crossing of the Red Sea, the drowning of the Egyptian army, the song of Moses and the song of Miriam, which are kind of fillers, the bitter water made sweet, and we get bread from heaven and water from a rock. It's really quite a miraculous week we've got coming here. Now, this is a generation unlike any other. Exodus 13:21. And the Lord was going in front of them by day in a column of cloud to show them the way, and by night in a column of fire to shed light for them, so as to go by day and by night. Now, the cloud and fire have a two-sided function, both conveying God's presence and reflecting God's mysteriousness. The narrative reports that God himself goes in front of the Israelites in the wilderness, but they don't see the deity because he travels in the daytime in the column of cloud and by night in the column of fire. Now, Exodus has to be read with a consciousness that the cloud or the fire is present at all times. It's a constant miracle, an introduction of the cosmic in history. And you have to have a sense of the awe involved in this phenomenon, particularly expressed in our new calling card, fire. It is a miraculously burning bush that first draws Moses, and now the people experience a similar phenomenon, a continuous, miraculous fire. Now, these people literally saw God or experienced a miracle every day for 40 years. Now, most people the world over would be happy with one day, 1 hour, even 1 minute. This is about miracles, the miracles of our lives. You know what, friends, we do not recognize the myriad of miracles that still go on in our lives. Take a minute, think of them, write them down, look at them, honor them, because they still exist everywhere. Have my love. Use it while it does you good. Share my highs, but the times that it hurts, pay no mind. The pieces you don't need are mine. I'll see you there on cloud nine. Now, the Bible and rabbinic literature are full of stories of clouds. They hide God from man. They act as his chariot. They accompanied the ark, and they rested over the tabernacle. It was associated with wisdom. And we all seek wisdom, and we find it all around us, and sometimes we just find it in song. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometime, you'll find you get what you need. You get what you need. And that's true, my friends. You get what you need. So we have cloud and wisdom, and we have the new calling card of the God of Exodus, fire. Powerful, explosive, creative, and destructive. We were introduced with the burning bush, and we will see its true power at the epiphany of the Decalogue. If your memory serves you well, we're going to again and wait. So I'm going to unpack my things and sit before it gets too late. No man alive will come to you with another tale to tell. And you know that we shall meet again. if your memory's so wheels on fire, rolling down the road, notify my next of kin, this wheel shall explode. Now this wonderment, fire and cloud, every day for 40 years. It's pretty amazing. But it became just a habit to these people. And for those who thought this whole episode was about freeing the people, it was not. Exodus 14:4. And I'll strengthen Pharaoh's heart, and he'll pursue them. And I'll be glorified against Pharaoh and against all of his army. And Egypt will know that I am the Lord. They did so. God wasn't satisfied with the people just being free. That's not what it was about. Once more, he would make his puppet Pharaoh pursue the people in order to finish God's introduction to the world. Now, we struggle with this, as we struggle with God leading the plague of death of the firstborn, which is why we invented the angel of death. And the Lord strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued the children of Israel. And now one of the greatest scenes in cinema takes place as God, as Moses, raises his arms and splits the Red Sea. You remember the first time you saw that scene? Wow, it was a miracle. The people had no choice. They couldn't go back. They had to go forward. How often have you had to go forward when retreat was simply no longer an option? Now, the people then complained to Moses, and this is just a sign of what's to come. They are fear personified. They ask whether they'd have been better off in Egypt, but that would interfere with God's plan. Exodus 14:7. And I'm strengthening Egypt's heart. Now come after them. I'll be glorified against Pharaoh. The people cower in fear as God attains his glory. It's all about God getting what God wants. Exodus 14:21. And Moses reached his hand out over the sea, and the Lord drove back the sea with a strong east wind all night and turned the sea into dry ground, and the sea was split. The people crossed, the water collapsed, and drowns the pursuing horde. Now, in the conception of the Lord in Exodus, God becomes known. God's existence and power are simply a matter of knowledge. It's got nothing to do with belief. When you have seen 10 plagues and a sea split and have a column of cloud and fire visible at all times, you don't ask, do you believe in God? You see, as the term is used in the Hebrew Bible, it means not belief in, but belief that. That is, it means that if God says he will do something, you can trust that he will do it. Now, most of us do not think that way anymore. We don't have that level of belief. We don't believe in or believe that. And this little episode actually gives us a very famous prayer, which is said during the High Holy Days. Michamocha, from Exodus 15:11. Who is like you among the gods, O Lord? Who is like you? Awesome in holiness, fearsome with splendors, making miracles. Michamocha be'yadi Adonai. Michamocha ne'yadai b'kodesh Torah ta'ila Yosei Fela Torah ta'ila Yosei Fela. Who is like you, O God, among the gods worship? Who is like you, God of gods revered? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, fearsome with splendors, working wonders? And the people complain. Hey, they're free. They complain a lot, especially about food. They say they were used to eating what they wanted in Egypt. Well, how would they eat now? They'd have to actually fend for themselves. Exodus 16:4, and the Lord said to Moses, here, I'm raining bread from the skies for you. Let the people go out and gather the daily ration in its day in order that I can test them. Will they go by my instructions or not? God will provide manna for the people. It will rain down from heaven. All they have to do is take what they need and no hoarding, because they will be provided for. And of course, how many of you believe you'll be provided for? Of course they hoard, and the excess food goes bad. They even complain further, and in addition to the bread, God gives them quail. But all they do is complain. Try to amend my carnivorous habits. Made it nearly 70 days. Losing weight without speed, eating sunflower seeds, drinking lots of carrot juice and soaking up brains. But at night I had these wonderful dreams, some kind of sensuous treat. Not zucchini, fettuccine, or Bulgari, but a big warm bun and a huge hunk of meat. Cheeseburger in paradise, heaven on earth with an onion slice. Not particular, not too precise. Cheeseburger in paradise. Now, who wouldn't want a cheeseburger in paradise, my friends? Yes, the world is sacred, and so's everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, and be blessed. Now share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, and end the terror and hatred. Remember, we are a community, my friends. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this right together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it, and everybody does need it. Please do learn to forgive. Learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts, honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week. Week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe. Remember, we set in motion all that happens in our lives, my friends. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything's linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven because you have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness, but do so with sincerity, with accountability and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and be compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It's your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle. Just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none. Defraud none. Hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year, and may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body, expand the heart, quiet the mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and the ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. So make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform the lives around you. You're never alone. You're forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, and renewal to everybody you come across, because we're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Friends, your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous. Bless others and bless yourself. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief, and do not accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced others have too. We share together. We learn together. We help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them. Tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Watch your words. They hurt you, they heal you, they imprison you, and they free you. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. And listen to the voice of God as he, she, it talks to you. And pay heed to the wisdom that's all around. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. The wisdom from seeing yourself, my friends. You can see yourself anytime you want. Now have a wonderful week. We have Purim coming up and then the beginning of the year with all of the magic and miracles that it entails. And so I will see you all soon. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. Bye.